I'm going to talk about kind of what I've picked up from all of that stuff. And a lot of that is we think we're stuck. We think that we need more time, more knowledge, a better plan. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Built Not Given show. I'm your host, Jake Strickland, and today I'm going to be talking about how you cannot become somebody new while you're holding on to the old version of yourself. You know, we say we want change. You say you want things to be different, but we hold on to the same habits, the same mindset, and that same version of us that we are today, but we want to be somebody new. And the truth is, we can't step into a new life while dragging that old version of us. We can't become somebody new while we're still holding on to the version of us that we no longer want to be. Last week I spoke about how your environment that you're in shapes the person that you are today, and it shapes the way you act, the way you think, the way you talk. And also mentioned I went to the high school and I was speaking to some juniors and seniors about professional dress, things like that. And then I went into the story about how I grew up, my story a little bit about how in that very same high school, I was in alternative school my ninth grade year. And that conversation with them and the reflection time that I had at the end of it helped me come to the realization that I was still holding on to that old version of me there. For some reason, I had it in my head that they were going to think that I was a fraud, that I was talking nonsense because they knew the version of me that I was then. And as much as I hate to admit it, I still hold on to that person. That version of me still affects my decision making today because I know how easy it could be for me to fall back into that trap. So this episode's more or less me talking through that than advising you on how to get through it, because I don't have it figured out. I'm actively working through it. I've read a lot of stuff on it over the last week. I've listened to a lot of different podcasts about it. I've listened to an audiobook about it as well. And I'm going to talk about kind of what I've picked up from all of that stuff. And a lot of that is we think we're stuck. We think that we need more time, more knowledge, a better plan. We want more money. We want more discipline. We want more confidence. But we still work the same way. We're still negotiating with ourselves every day. And we're still putting ourselves in the same environments. I've said it before, but Theo Von said nothing changes if nothing changes. And that's true here as well. Nothing changes because we haven't changed. And for me, there has been multiple versions of who I am. I have gone through many different forms, personalities, changes. There's the version of me that made those mistakes. There's a version of me that people remember due to failures and mishaps. There's a version of me that didn't take things seriously. But there's also the version of me now that's actively building. And like I mentioned, I had to come to terms with that over this last week. And that if I keep holding on to the version of me then, I'll never be able to truly become the version of me that I want to be. And when I went back to the high school, there's going to be people there. And when I go back, I got asked to speak again. When I go back, there's going to be people there that still have that version of me in their head. And that's okay. Because it is what it is. I don't want to convince people. I don't need to convince people that I've changed. I don't need to tell them that I've changed. I don't even need to convince me that I've changed. Because I believe that if I keep showing up every day, sooner or later, people will catch on. I'll catch on, more importantly. because who cares what they say? Somebody told me the other day that other people's opinions of them is none of their business. And I had two reactions to that. I'm like, I don't think you understand how healthy and unhealthy that mindset is to have. It can be great, but it can also be terrible. But it's true, because what other people think of you is none of your business. If you can go home and you can sleep with who you are, fantastic. You're good. As long as you ain't hurting people. But if I had to guess, that's not your case. That's not why you're listening to this. You're listening to this because you know you need to change. And you know there's things that you want to do differently. And if you're like anybody else, you have no clue where to start. You have no clue what it looks like. Because that's everybody. Everybody shares that difficult time of shedding a version of themselves that they no longer like. Because the mind's a powerful thing and we remember a lot more than we'd like to think. I remember what it felt like walking into the principal's office, seeing the resource officer, and then my parents sitting in a chair. I remember what that felt like. I remember what it felt like my first day in the alternative school. And I remember what it felt like when I got out. I remember all of that. And I'll be honest with y'all, it's not a negative feeling. It's not one of disgust or regret. It's not one that I look back on and say, dang, I wish I didn't do that. Because at the end of the day, I did. I don't look back at any of the bad decisions I've made and think, wow, what would life be like if I didn't do that? Because I did. And if we reflect on all the things that we've done wrong and think of 1,010 different scenarios of what it would be like if that never happened, then we have to do the same thing for the good things that we've done too. We have to look back and think of what if we didn't react that way? What if we didn't react in a positive way? What if we, instead of helping that person, we just kicked them to the dirt? And I know for me, I don't want to do that. So we can't look back on our negative mistakes. I think all mistakes are negative to a certain extent. But we can't look back on our past and think, wow, what would life be like if we didn't do that? Because life is now. Life is not then. That's the past. We're in the present. And if we spend our present thinking about what our past would be like if this never happened or we never did that, then we're going to be doing the same thing in the future. So you got to shed that past. You got to shed the old version of you. Because I don't believe that growth is just about adding more. I believe it's about removing stuff that doesn't fit. Like those old habits, the excuses, the old standards. It's about removing things that no longer serve you a good purpose. And it kind of ties back into reflecting on that old version of you. Because for me, it's not, I say it was because it still is, and it's not about thinking what it would be like if that never happened. It's about protecting that kid. It's about protecting that version of me. It's about using that to say, oh, this happened and now I'm here. As if that justifies the mistakes. Because it doesn't. I screwed up. We've screwed up. Everybody listen to this. Everybody that you come across, they have all screwed up. And we can't spend our lives justifying those screw ups with fixing stuff now. I'm not sure if that makes sense. We can't strive to be somebody better if we're only striving to be somebody better because we've screwed up in the past. We have to want that for ourselves now. You have to want to be better. Because if you're only trying to be good because you've been bad, you will never get to the level that you want to be. We can't keep protecting who we were. We have to decide to start building the person that we're becoming. I don't think we need a perfect plan. I don't think we need the right time. Because the right time is now. It's today. It's not tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be full of what ifs. What if I started yesterday? Tomorrow's the busiest place on earth. So why not get a head start and start today? We have to identify what version of us is holding us back. What version are we trying to protect? What version of ourselves are we trying to justify by the good behaviors now? We have to take a step back and think, who are we trying to become? And what would that person do right now? And when we do that, the next step is to do it. Whatever that is, whatever that future version of you, whatever that ideal version of you, whatever that person that you're trying to become would do right now, go do it. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it doesn't feel like you, it's not going to feel like you because that's not you yet. But to get to that version of you, you have to go now. You have to act like that guy, even if you're not that guy yet. Because we can't become somebody new overnight. But we can make a decision. A decision that's very simple. Are we holding on? Or are we letting go? I know for me, I want to let go. Because I don't believe we get both. I don't believe that I don't believe that I can become the future version of me if I keep trying to justify the good deeds now because of the bad deeds of the past. And maybe that's the case for you. Maybe it's not. Maybe you truly are. Maybe you aren't trying to justify anything. But I find it hard to believe. Because the way we all have one thing in common, and that's that we don't want to disappoint people. And as much as we want to believe it, the person that we don't want to disappoint the most is ourselves. And I know for me, right now, I'm actively trying to change the way that I think and change the way that I do from acting as a justification to acting as if I'm already the person I want to be. I'm done justifying the past because that's not me anymore. I'm done justifying bad mistakes. I'm done justifying the disappointments that I've had, that I've done. I'm done justifying the things that I've done to hurt people. Because at the end of the day, it happened, and I did it, and it is what it is. Is it good? No. Is it bad? Yes. Did I do it? Yes. Can I change it? No. And the same goes for you. Did you do it? Yes. Can you change it? No. Can you let go of it? Yes. Can you move forward? Yes. But you can't move forward if you're trying to justify all the other things. You can't become the version of you that you want to be if you're doing it because of things that you've done in the past. So my action item for you today is I really want you to sit down and reflect. Take 5-10 minutes, sit in silence and think, am I acting now as a justification for the past? And if you are, that's okay because that's normal. It's not a bad thing. I think it's just a step that we have to realize that, hey, everybody goes through it. But what's going to happen now is you're going to learn to separate and accept all the bad things that's ever happened, all the bad things that you've ever done, all the mistakes you've ever made, and just let it go. Let them be. Because we can't change them now. There's one thing about AA that I don't like. And it's how this isn't everywhere, obviously, and maybe it's a movie thing. I haven't really looked too much into it, but they go around and they make their rounds and they're sorry. They say they're sorry. They're sorry for this. They're sorry for that. And I'll be honest with y'all, I hate the word sorry. I really do. I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I said that." Because no, they're not. They're sorry that it hurt you. They're not sorry they said it. They're sorry that it made an impact on you. They're sorry for the way it made you feel. They're not sorry that they said it. They're sorry that it hurt you. And I've said I'm sorry 1,000,010 times. So I know. I didn't know in the time when I was saying I'm sorry. Because I did. I thought I was sorry for what I did. But the truth is, I'm sorry that it affected them. Because I acted. I did whatever it was. I did it. There's no hiding from it. The mistakes that were made. The decision was made to do it. And I was just sorry that it affected them in a way that I didn't expect it to. So that's what I don't like about AA. I don't like that you go around and say you're sorry because you got to shed that version of you. I'll tie up now. So yeah, action item. Take 5 to 10 minutes, sit in silence, reflect on if you're acting now as a justification for the version that you used to be. And if you are, you got to learn how to let it go. Because shit happens. Life happens. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does stupid things. But at the end of the day, what's going to separate you is that you recognize that that's not you anymore.